The Life Coaching Toolbox Podcast is brought to you by Joeel and Natalie Rivera of Transformation Academy. In this episode, Joeel talks about why emotions are contagious. Mirror Neurons. This episode is one of 11 episodes in a series about coaching your clients to develop emotional intelligence and master their emotions.
Now I want to look at why emotions are contagious. And I want to look at specifically mirror neurons. And there's no doubt that people around us influence how we feel and that we influence the emotions of people around us. However, most people do not know how powerful those influences actually are. See, as social creatures, we connect and belonging are some of the most important basic human needs that we have. This is why our brains are designed to learn from others and mirror those around us, which is referred as social learning. In fact, in our brains, we have what's called mirror neurons, which fire when we observe an action performed by another person and triggers us to engage in the same action. For example, our physical body actually mimics someone else's when we observe a person crossing their legs or even yawning. You've probably had this happen to you, where you heard someone that yawned and you probably heard that yawns are contagious and you yawned yourself. So mirror neurons is why. Most importantly, our brains assess others people's emotional state and then reflect or mimic what is being observed, influencing how we actually feel. This is called empathy. See, some people are naturally more empathetic than others, and both extremely high and extremely low empathy can be unhealthy. And we'll discuss empathy more in another video when we get there, but I want to just focus on why emotions are contagious, because it's truly incredibly important to understand. You have probably noticed that when someone is extremely excited, it makes you feel excited. On the other hand, perhaps you have found that when somebody who is depressed or maybe a downer, you walk away feeling down. So how powerful is this influence? In 2000, the Journal of Psychological Science published a study in which participants were shown a face of either happy, angry, or neutral expressions. They were shown the image for only 30 milliseconds, so they were not consciously aware of what expressions they were being exposed to. See, their unconscious mind picked up the image, and when they were shown the image displaying happiness, their bodies reacted by increasing electrical activities and muscles needed to smile. The same thing happened for those who were exposed to images of anger. So what is powerful is that the people actually participating in this were only seeing it for 30 milliseconds. In other words, they weren't even consciously aware that these images were being shown, but yet their body was automatically reacting to produce the same emotions of the images that they were seeing. Now imagine the impact of people around you who are expressing a strong emotional state that can have on your body and your mind and your emotions. See, another study found that and this one was published in the Journal of PLOS. One found that when we are influenced by observing another person's experience, even at the point of physical sensations. And what they did was that they had participants see a video of somebody putting their hand in either cold or hot water. And what the study found was that the participants' hands actually changed temperature depending on what video they were seeing. So for example, if they saw somebody put their hand in cold water, their hand actually became colder, or vice versa. They saw somebody put in hot water, their hand actually got warmer. So these studies, among many other studies, truly demonstrate that those around us can influence at a deeper level than a lot of us can even imagine. So ask yourself these questions. Who influences you in your life? Why do you interact with them frequently? And who do you interact with them frequently? Because the more you know who these people are and how they impact you, the better it is. What emotional state do they tend to be in? What can you do to limit your exposure to those who may have or may negative influence you emotionally? So how can you surround yourself with more people that will mirror an emotional state that you want to experience more often? Also ask yourself, how are you influencing others around you? What is your emotional state doing to create how others around you react and feel? Because again, it goes vice versa. They're feeding off of you. So it's important to understand that this is in the workplace and in our lives. is impactful. Because if we're aware of this phenomenon, we can choose to limit how much we allow ourselves to be influenced. Once these unconscious automatic reactions become conscious because we learn to notice them on our own, then the people's emotions no longer have the power that they had before. So plus knowing how much we influence other people at an emotional level, we can choose to have a positive influence on those around us, including setting the emotional tone in our workplace or even in our lives through modeling what emotions we want other people to experience. So emotional awareness is the key here.
Visit transformationacademy.com/toolbox to download free life coaching worksheets that go with the activities discussed in this podcast, plus other resources for creating a thriving life coaching business.